Erev Tov and good evening, everyone. We are doing Parsha Emor and the Zera Shimshon. We're looking at Os Ches this evening. That's section 8 in the sefer that is on Daf Kuf Ches. And in Parsha Emor itself, there is a section that talks about all of the Chagim and the holidays throughout the Jewish year. And because part of that discussion deals with the Yomim Naraim, the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where the Zera Shimshon is going to talk a little bit about that subject, and specifically why we don't say, he's going to touch upon why we don't say Hallel on those days. We say Hallel, of course, on the Shalosh Regalim and other holidays, but we do not say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So that's going to be part of the discussion tonight. So let's jump right in. The Zera Shimshon starts with the Gemara in Maseches Rosh Hashanah. Maseches Rosh Hashanah, Perek Dalet. In Maseches Rosh Hashanah, the fourth Perek, Amru Malachi Hasharis Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Gemara relates that the Malachim said to Hashem, Ribono Shel Olam, Mipnei ma ein omrim lefanecha Yisrael shira b'Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippur. The Malachim asked Hashem, why do the Jewish people not say Shira? Why do they not say, sing their traditional song, which is a reference to Hallel, on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Amar Lahem, so Hashem answered the Malachim, Avsher Melech Yoshev al Kisei Din, is it possible that the king would be sitting on his throne of judgment, V'sifrei Chayim V'sifrei Mesim Psuchim Lefanav, and the books of life and death are open in front of him, V'Yisrael Omrim Shira, and the Jewish people are going to sing the Hallel? Ad kan Lashono, this is until here is a quote from the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. So very interesting, right? The Malachim are wondering, why is it that Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? And Hashem says that the nature of those days that we're sitting, we're standing in front of Hashem and we're being judged by Hashem, these are not days when we can be exuberant and sing, have celebratory songs and a celebratory attitude as we do on our other Chagim, on our other holidays. So that's the Gemara. Zera Shimshon continues. Kule alma makshim. So the whole world asks the question, Ma ichpas lehu lamalachim bazeh. What difference does it make, or why is it that the Malachim care about this issue, right? The Malachim presumably have all kinds of things to be concerned about. And why are they concerned about the fact that Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur? And why is this something that they felt the need to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu about? The Tiritz Bal Ian Yaakov, and so in the Sefer Ian Yaakov, the answer is given, Lefi de Issa Bechulin, because it is stated in Maseches Chulin, Shemalache Hasharis Ein Omrim Shira Lamala, that Malachim don't say their song, they don't sing their praises and sing their Shira, Ad Sheyomru Yisrael Lamata, until the Jewish people say it down below. V'im kain, and if so, according to this Sefer Iyon Yaakov, Shoalim Hatam Lama Ein Yisrael Omrim. That's why the Malachim are asking, why isn't Bnei Yisrael saying Hallel? Shezeh Gorem Shegam Heim Einam Yecholim Lomar, because this causes them also to have to refrain from saying Hallel. Ad kan Lashono, until here is a quote from the Iyon Yaakov. So let's pause here because we have a very nice question and answer. We have a Gemara from Maseches Rosh Hashanah that tells us that the Malachim asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu about why Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which may be a question that has occurred to us. Certainly, we can more readily understand how Yom Kippur, it would be hard to see saying Hallel, but Rosh Hashanah, we have festive meals. Of course, it's a very serious day, but it's also a very festive day, and families come together for the meals, and it certainly has an aspect of a festive holiday in some ways. So we may have wondered ourselves why we don't say Hallel. So the Malachim asked Hashem that question, and Hashem, according to the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, said these are days of judgment, and it wouldn't be appropriate for Bnei Yisrael to sing Hallel. Fine. So then the question is raised as to why the Malachim were even cared or concerned about this. So the Ian Yaakov has answered that based on a Gemara in Chulin, we have a Gemara in Chulin that says that the Malachim, according to the way that Ian Yaakov understands the Gemara, the Malachim don't say Hallel unless Bnei Yisrael says Hallel, right? Based on that Gemara, that's certainly a fair reading of that Gemara. Let's look at it again, just to read those words again. They don't say their shira up above until Bnei Yisrael says shira down below. So therefore, the Malachim are asking a very pertinent question, a very relevant question to them, which is, if Bnei Yisrael is not saying shira, we can't say shira. So tell us, why aren't they saying shira? We ourselves are not going to be allowed to say shira. According to the Ian Yaakov's understanding of this Gemara and Chulin, until Bnei Yisrael says Shira. And if they're not going to say Shira, we can't say Shira. So that's why the Malachim were asking the question. Okay, so far so good, but of course, knowing the Zera Shimshon, things are going to not be so simple, get a little more complicated. Next paragraph, Aval Koshe, but there is a difficulty. Dibre Erchen, because in Masechta Erchen, Kosva Tosvos Vizel Shona. Tosfos writes, and this is their language, Aval lo ka'omar mipnei ma ein onu omrim lefanecha shira. The Malachim are not quoted as having said, why don't we say shira in front of you on Rosh Hashanah and Yom HaKippurim? That is not what the Gemara, how the Gemara quoted the Malachim. The Gemara quoted the Malachim to ask the question of Hashem, why don't Bnei Yisrael, why doesn't Yisrael say Shira on these days? So Tosfos is very medactic, very careful about the language and the way that the Gemara quotes the Malachim, and comments as follows. Mashma, this implies the fact that the Malachim didn't say, why don't we, the Malachim say Shira, this implies Shemalachi Hashares Omrim Shira. This implies that the Malachim do in fact say their Shira, after Rosh Hashanah, v'Yom HaKippurim, even on Rosh Hashanah and Yom HaKippurim, right? Umikan haya omer ri, and from this fact, the ri says, she'ein ledaleg v'hachayos yeshoreru u'keruvim yefaru v'chulei ad kan lashon. We should not take out from our davening on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur words that describe the Malachim singing praises to Hashem, because they in fact do sing Shira to Hashem even on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So now Tosfos is introducing to us a halachic aspect to this whole issue, and that is, if the Malachim sing Shira on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, then the lines and the phrases and the machzorim and in the davening on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur that talk about the Malachim singing to Hashem are appropriate and they should be kept in. However, if the position of the Ian Yaakov is correct, which we noted, which is Zera Shimshon brought to us, introduced us to a few moments ago in the previous paragraph, if his position is correct, that the Malachim look down and they see that we're not singing Shira, and therefore, since Yisrael is not singing Shira lamata, down on earth, the Malachim can't sing, or not allowed to sing Shira lamala in Shamayim, and the Malachim don't do it, then there would be a halachic rama that would have an important ramification, which would be, it would be inappropriate to talk about and say phrases in the davening on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur that talk about the Malachim singing Shira, and that is not Tosfos's position. Okay. Ella, but shebe'em is kosher, ala Tosfos. But we have a very strong question on this Tosfos. It's as if the Zera Shimshon laid a little bit of a trap. The Zera Shimshon is now springing shut the trap. Wait a minute. How can Tosfos say that the Malachim sing Shira on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur? Ahu dechulin. We have this Gemara in Chulin that we just saw, she'ein malachi ashoris omrim Shira ad sheyom Yisrael, that the Malachim don't sing Shira until Bnei Yisrael sing Shira. And since Bnei Yisrael don't sing Shira, don't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, therefore, apparently, presumably, the Malachim don't say their Shira also. So Tosfos is in a bind here. There's a very strong question on Tosfos. How can Tosfos argue that the Malachim do in fact sing Shira on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, when we had a Gemara in Chulin that seemed to indicate that they only sing Shira when Bnei Yisrael sing Shira. Since Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the Malachim shouldn't be saying Hallel on those days as well. Next paragraph. V'yesh lomar, and we can say the Isa b'medrash that it is stated in the Medrash Yalkut Shimoni al pasuk v'kara zeh el zeh, on the pasuk of the malachim calling to each other. We recognize this, of course, from the kedusha that we say in Chazaras Hashatz, v'kara zeh el zeh. They call out to each other and then they sing kadosh kadosh kadosh. They talk about Hashem's kedusha. So what does the Medrash say? Shahamalachim noagim kavod zeh lazeh. The malachim give honor to each other. V'hakaton omer lagadol, and a lower level malach says to a greater malach. We know from many different places in Chazal, in the Gemara, and the Midrashim, that the malachim were not all equal, that the malachim had different madregos, different levels of power, and were given different kinds of responsibilities based on that. So a less important or a smaller malach of lesser stature says to a malach of greater stature, lahaschil, to begin praising Hashem and talking about Hashem's glory. V'zehu umekablin dein midain, and this is what it means when we say, and they receive one from another. Klomar, this means to say, Misha Omer Hashira, Mekabel Hazmana Mechavero. The malach that's going to sing the shira receives an invitation, so to speak, from his colleague, from another malach. So it's not just that a malach gets up and sings shira. One malach, again, the way the Medrash is putting it, is a lower level malach, calls out to a higher level malach and invites that malach to begin the shira, and then the malach of the higher stature begins the shira after he receives this invitation. Visham bechulin, and there in Maseches Chulin, in that Gemara that we already quoted, Isa, it continues. It has another statement about the malachim, and it says, "Chavivin Yisrael lifnei Hakadosh Baruch Hu." The Jewish people are more beloved in front of Hashem, Yoser mi malachei hasharis, more than the malachei hasharis, more than the angels, more than the malachim. She Yisrael mazkirin es Hashem, because the Jewish people mention Hashem's name, la'achar shtei tevos, after two words, Shema Yisrael, at the highlight of our davening, when we say Shema Yisrael, at the high point of our davening, or one of the high points before we get to Shmoneh Esrei of our davening, we say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. So we say two words, Shema and Yisrael, before we say Hashem's name. Umalachei hashares, and the malachim achar shloshet tevos, they say Hashem's name only after three words. In other words, kadosh, 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 Hashem tzvako. So they say three words. They say the word kadosh three times. Holy, holy, holy. Then is Hashem. So the Medrash is saying that Bnei Yisrael, its way of talking about Hashem and introducing his name after only saying two words is considered more beloved to Hashem than the Malachim, who say three words first before introducing the name of Hashem. Ve'ein Malachei Hasharis Omrim Shira Lamala, and then that Gemara continues with the statement that we're very familiar with, which is that the Malachim don't say their Shira above and the supernal realm until the people, until Bnei Yisrael say Hallel down below, Lamata down below on earth, v'chule, and that and the Gemara continues with in that vein, which we already know. Dimashma, that this implies Vadai shahatam she'ein malachei asharish omrim shira. Definitely the reason that the malachim don't say shira ad sheyomer Yisrael until Bnei Yisrael says it, hu mipnei, it is because she Yisrael gedolim mi malachei hashares, because Bnei Yisrael is considered greater, as we said a moment ago. They're chavivin, they're more beloved to Hashem there, and so they're considered greater in this respect than the Malachim. Umalache hasharis mechabdim osam, and therefore the Malachim honor Bnei Yisrael. Sheyiyu heim techila, that they should go first. Bnei Yisrael, the Malachim wait for Bnei Yisrael to say their shira of Hallel before they begin their own shira above. V'zeh nicha b'yom she'omrim shira ben Yisrael u'vein HaMalachim. And this is good. This applies. This is applicable. This is relevant on those days when both Bnei Yisrael and the Malachim are saying shira. Aval im Yisrael einam omrim shira ba'oso yom. But if it's a day when Bnei Yisrael does not say Hallel, as shopir hamalache hasharas yecholim lo marheim, then of course the Malachim are able to say their shira. Umishum hachi mitchila hayurotzim lahamtim, and therefore on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur the Malachim wanted to wait sheyomru Yisrael techila, that Bnei Yisrael should say Hallel first before they say their shira. Ukishiroam sheyisrael einam omrim osa, and when they saw that Bnei Yisrael was not saying Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom HaKippurim, sholim atam laHakodesh Baruch Hu, that's why they asked that original question that was quoted in the beginning to Hashem. Ula'achar sheheshiv lahem, and after Hashem responded to them, sheyisrael einam yecholim laomra ba'oso yom, that Bnei Yisrael are not able to say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as the Gemara said, because those days we stand in judgment in front of Hashem, there's a feeling of fear and trepidation and somberness and such a level of seriousness that we're not able to say shir. It's not appropriate for Bnei Yisrael to say Hallel in those days. Once the Malachim hear that answer from Hashem, as Omrim Hema Shira, then they say their own Shira. Yedivrei Atosos to Erchen, according to the opinion of Tosfos, which is, he's supporting the words of Tosfos in Maseches Erchen, Hanizkar La'el, which was mentioned before. So let's put the pieces together here. We started with a question as to why the Malachim were even interested in whether Bnei Yisrael says, why if Bnei Yisrael says Hallel or not in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. We had a very good answer to that question, which is based on a Gemara. The Malachim they wait for Bnei Yisrael to say Hallel below before they say their shira above. And according to the Iyun Yaakov, he took that Gemara, you might say very literally, to the point, the way he understood it was that the Malachim don't say shira at all if Bnei Yisrael isn't singing Hallel on a particular day. So therefore, according to him, it was a very important question, a very important thing for the Malachim to determine whether or not Bnei Yisrael is going to say Hallel, because if Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, then the Malachim are not going to sing their shira on those days. Fine. That was one viewpoint and one perspective. Then the Zera Shimshon introduced us to Tosfos in Maseches Erchen, which had a very different view. And that view was that, in fact, the Malachim do say shira on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. They do sing Song of Praise on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why? Because they had, the Zera Shimshon explained to us, they have a different, Tosfos has a different understanding of that Gemara in Chulin. And according to their understanding, it's not that the Malachim don't say shira if Bnei Yisrael doesn't say shira. It's that the Malachim wait till Bnei Yisrael say shira first. On days when Bnei Yisrael is not going to say shira, for example, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as HaKadosh Baruch Hu explained to the Malachim that Bnei Yisrael, it's not appropriate for them to say shira on those days. Therefore, the Malachim don't have to wait any longer. They don't have to show kavod to Klal Yisrael, and they sing their own shira on those days, and all of the pieces are able to fit together according to Shitas HaTosfos. And in the end, that opinion again has a halachic ramification. Since the Malachim do say shira on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur according to Tosfos, then it is appropriate to retain in our davening all of the references to Malachim singing praises to Hashem on those days, because they do in fact say shira, even though Bnei Yisrael doesn't say Hallel on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So the Zera Shimshon has taught us a very nice piece, very interesting, kind of fascinating look at a few different Gemaras and how they fit together in terms of the issue of Hallel and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And I think that the whole concept, the whole idea if there's a takeaway for us to keep in our minds, this idea that Klal Yisrael, that the Jewish people are able to reach such a madrega, such a high level, that in certain ways, in certain aspects, they're more chaviv, they're more beloved to Hashem than the malachim, and the malachim themselves understand this and are mechabed and honor Bnei Yisrael and wait for Bnei Yisrael to say Hallel down here on earth before they begin their shira. If that's something we think about when we say Hallel, it certainly can only motivate us, hopefully, God willing, to say Hallel with even more, sing praises of Hashem with even more kavanah, with more concentration and more focus.